everybody, it's Rob from Epic Arrow, and in this video we are going to talk about competition research. Now at this point you should have selected your niche and you should have a list of keywords that people are actually searching for on Google. If you haven't done this, I would suggest that you go back and you watch the niche selection and keyword research videos, and I'll put a link to them in the description below. But if you have, let's jump into some competition research. Okay, so with this, there are some main factors. The first of which is backlinks. We're going to look at each site and how many backlinks they have and the quality of the backlinks. The next thing we're going to look at are the social signals. How active are these sites on social media? And the last thing we're going to look at is site authority. Is this just some 3-page piece of crap site, or is this some 1,000-page Goliath of a site? So with that, let's jump into some tools that I use. Okay, so there's two ways you can go about doing competition research. The first way is free and the second way is paid. Now, free is going to take you about 3 to 5 times as much time to do your competition research. But hey, I understand that money might be tight when you're first starting out. You just kind of want to get your feet wet and get a little feel for this before you start sinking money into it. So the first tool we're going to start out with is the Moz Bar, and all of the tools that I'm going to talk about here, I'm going to put a link to in the description. So don't worry about freaking out. Oh God, I can't find the tool, or he didn't show me the URL. It will be underneath the video. But with the Moz Bar, we've previously talked about this in keyword research, and basically you'll go to the Chrome extension store and you'll download it, and then you'll get this icon and you'll click it to turn it on. And what this will do is it'll display these little bars underneath each search result. And what these bars stand for is PA stands for page authority and DA stands for domain authority. And you'll see some other information. It'll tell you how many links this page has and how many links the domain has. Now, this isn't as accurate as other SEO tools, but it does give you a good indication of how many links a page or a domain might have. So the way that I would use this is I would go through each one and I would look for any site that shows up here that has a page authority and domain authority less than 50. So I would go through here and start looking, and I don't see any, so this is a keyword I would probably try to stay away from. And another way you can use this tool is the keyword difficulty. Now, if you create a Moz account and you sign into that account, it'll give you this little button, and it'll tell you what it thinks the keyword difficulty score is. This scored a 76. So I would I would definitely stay away from this keyword. What I like to look for when I'm looking for a keyword is a score under 40% or at least 3 domains that have a PA and DA less than 50. So let's see if we can find one. Okay, so using the same logic, I would go through these. That doesn't have both under 50. That doesn't. Okay, we have 1. We have 2. We have 3. And 4. So I found more than 3 with the DA and PA under 50. So this is a keyword that I would give some good consideration to. So let's see what it gives us back as a keyword score. Okay, so I had to pause the video because I had to keep refreshing the screen to finally get it to give me a keyword difficulty score. And like I've said before, most free programs are going to be full of bugs. So it's kind of a trade-off you get for having something that's free. But as you can see, it has a 47%. I like to stay under 40% because it'll help me rank quicker in Google. But I did find more than 3 with a PA and DA less than 50. So this is one that I would definitely look into. So that's pretty much it for the Moz search bar. Moving right along, the next tool I'd like to discuss is SEO Quake. Now this is another Chrome extension, so all you have to do is go to the Chrome store and download it, and I'll put a link to it underneath the video. So let's turn off the Moz Bar, and then let's turn on SEO Quake. Maybe. There we go. And basically, it's the same premise as the Moz Bar. It gives you a little bar underneath each search result with some information. You'll see you have the page rank, which is completely outdated, so I wouldn't even pay attention to it. You'll have the number of pages indexed in Google, the number of backlinks pointing to this exact page, the number of backlinks pointing to the domain, This is the domain. The whole URL is the page. The number of pages in Bing, the Alexa rank, the age of the site, or when this is when the site was established, or the domain name was registered. So you can look at who is information, which basically tells you who owns the site. You can go to it, and it'll give you an SEM rush, which is another tool. It'll give you their rank of the site. Now, another thing you can do is you can actually go to the page, and you can look at, it'll give you, you can look at page diagnostic, so it'll give you kind of an SEO audit of the page. It'll tell you, let me go to one that might not be as good. Let's check out this one. So if I did a diagnosis of this page, it'll tell me that the meta description is not being used. It'll give you what it thinks has passed, what is errored, and warnings. It's another thing you can use. And on top of that, it'll give you the internal links on the page, the external links on the page. This is keyword density. It'll show you, I think, up to 4 word phrases, what the keyword density is on the page. And you can compare different URLs, so you can look at them side by side. And then this is basically the same exact information that it gave underneath the search results. So it's a great tool. It gives you a lot of information to do your competitive research. And I would suggest you go out and download it. Okay, so the last Chrome extension we're going to talk about, which is not the last free tool, but it's the last Chrome extension, is the Majestic SEO Chrome extension. Now, Majestic is a backlink analysis tool, and it's pretty much my go-to to see whether or not the backlinks going to a site are high quality or not. So let's just open it up here. And what this is a summary. And it gives you the subdomain and the root domain. The subdomain would be the www, and the root domain would be without the www. So it's telling me that it has a subdomain citation flow of 18 and a trust flow of 2, and a root domain citation flow of 12 and a trust flow of 8. And then it's telling me that it has 20 external backlinks for the subdomain, and it is counted 3,557 external backlinks and 119 referring domains for the root domain. Now, basically, what citation flow is it indicates either how, if the number of backlinks built over a period of time looks natural or not. And then the trust flow is whether or not those backlinks are coming from a trusted authority site. And this is very important nowadays. You can't just build a ton of crappy links and expect to rank in Google. Your backlinks have to come from authoritative, high-quality websites. So what I always look at is, the first thing I gauge is the trust flow. I want a very high trust flow from the backlinks that I'm getting. And the next thing I look at is the citation flow. And the citation flow should not be more than 2 times the trust flow. See, as you can see here, 2 times the trust flow would be 4, so 18 is way off. This is really bad. This is not too bad, but it's not great. Typically, if I'm looking to get a backlink from a site, I want them to have a trust flow and a citation flow above 10. Now, when I start to look at these external backlinks as well, the external backlinks, there's only 119 referring domains, so there's 3,500 backlinks coming from 119 websites. And to me, that does not sound right. Typically, what I'm looking for is there should be no more than 10 backlinks per website. So I would be looking more along the lines of about 1,100 external backlinks coming from 119 sites. So this is a red flag indicator for me. So in my opinion, this site is not very strong. Now let's go back and look at a site that I believe will probably have a strong backlink profile. PCMag.com. I almost guarantee will. Okay, so as you can see, the referring domains compared to the external backlinks is not as important when you have this many referring domains pointing at a site. But as you can see, the citation flow is a 78 and the trust flow is a 75 for the subdomain, 77 and 73 for the root domain, and the URL, this is the exact URL showing here, only has 14 referring domains and 24 backlinks. But it has a citation flow of 22 and a trust flow of 11, which isn't great. But when you look at the subdomain and the root domain, this is an extremely strong site. So let's look at a few more examples here. Let's look at this site. So as you can see, not nearly as strong as PC Mag. The referring domains to backlinks looks pretty good, but as you can see, the trust flow is almost non-existent on this site, and the citation flow as well. So this is not a very strong website. This is definitely one that I can compete with. And then let's look at one more. See, CD or PC Mag, I would not be able to compete with because they just have too strong of a backlink profile. And let's look at one more. Let me see if I can find another. And CNET's going to have another very strong backlink profile. So as you can see, 88 and 90, 88 and 89. The actual URL is not as strong, but you can see that this, you would not be able to compete with this, or I would not want to have to compete with a site like this. So as you can see, this gives you some basic metrics. So let's recap these metrics. This is what I believe is the most important tool that I use. So you want to have a strong trust flow and a strong citation flow. I look for, when I'm looking at a site, I look for, if I'm looking to compete with a site, I'm looking that they have a trust flow and a citation flow of less than 10, or they have a citation flow that is double the trust flow, or I'm looking to see that the amount of referring domains does not correspond with the amount of backlinks that are getting pointed at a site. So let's look at one more example. Already looked at that one. Let's look at the Little Backpacker. Again, this is a site that I could compete with. They have low trust flow, low citation flow. The trust flow on the subdomain is, or the citation flow is way more than 2 times the trust flow. So this is what I'd be looking at, and I'd be going through each search result and looking to see if I believe that I could compete with them at a link level. So that's pretty much all there is for Majestic SEO. And now I have one more tool we're going to look at, but we're going to have to jump over to Firefox to look at it because it is a Firefox extension. All right, so here we are in Firefox, and the tool that we are going to look at is the SEO toolbar made by SEO Book. Now, all you have to do is go to their website, and I will put a link to it below, but you have to go to their website and sign up for a free account, and then you can download Firefox if you don't already have it installed, and then put this extension onto it. Okay, so let's look at what this does. If we go back to Google, let's type in GoPro. Now, it doesn't give you any indication of what is going on in the actual search results, so you have to go to each page. And keeping with the other one, let's look at these pages. So you have to actually click through to the page, and then this bar up here is going to give you the information you're looking for. So what this gives you is the page rank, and then it gives you the number of unique linking domains to this page, and this is coming from a tool called Ahrefs, and it's very, very similar to Majestic SEO, but I prefer to use Majestic SEO. And then this is giving you the number of Majestic links pointing to the root domain, the number of unique links to the domain from Ahrefs, And then you have the number of domains pointing to the root domain from Majestic SEO. You also have the archive.org site age. It's giving you the SEMrush traffic value. And then you also have this feature called X-ray. And what this will do is it'll go through and give you all the headers. So you can look at what they're using for their headers when you're doing your on-page SEO. And then if we hit go, it gives you a keyword density. And it looks a little jumbled here, but this is what you get when you get a free tool. It gives you the keyword phrases that are on the site and the density of them. So that's pretty much all there is to this. It's not as great of a tool, I don't think, as some of the other ones that I've shown you. But there's one last thing that I want to look at, and it's called, I believe it's called Social Counter. And this is how we're going to give me one moment. This is how we're going to look at social signals for a site. So if we go back to Google and we type in our GoPro white edition review, we can take this link and we can copy it in here. And we can start to go through and we can start to see what kind of social signals are linking to this page. And this is another big factor that Google has. They've denied that they're looking at it, but I believe that it makes a big difference when you are trying to promote a site. You want a site that looks natural. You want your link profile to look natural. So you're going to need these social shares. And what you would want to do for this is you would want to go through and you're going to want to try to match the amount of social shares that these sites are getting. So you'd go through each search result and you would copy and paste the link in here and start looking at what type of social signals that exact page has. And that's going to go a long way to making your site look natural in Google. So that's pretty much it for the free tools that I use. And this video is run a little bit long, so I'm going to do a separate video for the paid tools. So if you have any comments, questions, or concerns about this video, please leave it in the comment section below. Hey there, thanks for sticking around till the end. If you'd like to check out the next lesson, please click on the video to the right. Or if you'd like to go back to the previous lesson, click on the video to your left.